a lot of people have finally gotten the chance to get their hands on MultiVersus. I've read a lot of early impressions, and a lot of publications and people alike are loving this game so far. This game is a great platform fighter with a great starting foundation, and I'm excited for the future. MultiVersus being a WB crossover fighting game, WB being short for Warner Brothers, there's a lot of IPs that WB owns. So from looking at a list of a lot of different shows and properties that is under the WB umbrella, here's are my top 10 characters that I would love to see in MultiVersus. Starting at number 10, I would love to see Samurai Jack from the cartoon series Samurai Jack from Cartoon Network. Jack is a samurai / Japanese warrior who spent his early life trying to defeat the main antagonist of his show, the demon Aku. However, Aku's time travel spell sent Jack into the future, where Jack now had to maneuver through the future in order to get back to the past to defeat Aku. It's a great story. You should check out the show. But I wanted Samurai Jack in this game because obviously he's a samurai. Jack's playstyle can match that of an assassin like Stark or Quinn. Jack is a masterful archer, masterful marksman. He has great hunting and surviving skills. Obviously, he's sick with a sword. He has ninjutsu. He's very agile. He's a legendary Cartoon Network character who's easily recognizable, and he fits perfectly in a fighting game. He has all the tools at his disposal, and I imagine his voice acting will be hilarious because Jack is a funny, witty character. At number 9, the next character that I would love to see in MultiVersus is Pibby from Come and Learn with Pibby. Pibby is a unique character from an educational show that turned left due to the darkness, as I say it with quotations, the darkness that has the ability to infect and control characters across the Warner Brothers universe whenever it comes in contact with it. Even though Pibby is early and it's just a concept and we don't really have that much information about it, it's still a cool idea that this character is essentially trying to save Warner Bros. Characters from their impending doom. I think Pibby can also be an assassin or maybe a mage / range character. I would specifically say assassin because she is a sword wielding character, and maybe she can play the Tom and Jerry role with her companion Bun Bun because she made it her mission to always protect Bun Bun, and maybe they can kind of work together. I think as we get more information and hopefully a full series release, Pibby can actually be a great addition to this game and Warner Brothers in general. So number 9, Pibby. Number 8, I'm gonna have to go with Space Ghost. And you probably know Space Ghost from his comedy show Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but Space Ghost is actually a hero. He's a unique character with a great moveset, and I could definitely see him being in this game. He can turn invisible, completely invisible, allowing him to stalk and maneuver around his enemies. He has flight, power bands, which allows him to use various beam attacks, kind of like heat waves. He could freeze things. He actually has the force. He can move things around, magnetism, and a lot of other powers. I would love to see him be a bruiser type of character, beating people up, or he could be a tank or maybe a mage. The possibilities are endless with Space Ghost, and not only can he have an amazing moveset, the lines would be funny too, because voice acting in this game is great so far. And with his comedy show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, the possibilities are endless. So number 8, Space Ghost. Number 7, I think this character is so unique. He needs the respect that he deserves. He's gone, but he's not forgotten. I'm talking about Rex Salazar from the show Generator Rex. Rex has this special power that he can grow weapons and machines out of his body at will. If I remember correctly, Rex has these nanites or this type of machinery or microscopic atom that's infused with his body, allowing him to create things like weapons and machinery. They also give him different abilities like super strength. He has a healing factor. He can use his nanites to change technology. Like he can influence other pieces of technology around him. He can actually talk to the technology. Like it's deep. So I would consider Rex to be more of a mage character, kind of similar to Jake the dog, how he could change his shape into whatever he needs at that very moment. And in a platform fighting game, I think Rex would be a great character. So number 7 is Rex from Generator Rex. Number 6 would be amazing. This character will be probably my favorite tank in the game. Big body, brute, can use a lot of force, move everyone out of his way, and completely dominate the battlefield. Number 6 is Ed from the cartoon Ed, Edd and Eddy. Hopefully you already know what Ed, Edd and Eddy is. If you don't, Ed, Edd and Eddy is a legendary cartoon that originated on Cartoon Network. It's about 3 friends all sharing similar names, get into a lot of shenanigans shenanigans in the cul-de-sac. Classic, legendary show on Cartoon Network, one of my favorite cartoons of all time personally. But the reason why I chose Ed instead of the other two is because Ed, in my opinion, provides great comic relief and his moveset can be quite promising because there's multiple episodes of Ed just causing chaos and destroying everything at will because he's angry. He's on the larger side, so I think Ed can kind of play the tank role, especially in the 2v2 matches, providing that he can be the person to take a lot of hits but also dish out a lot of damage as well. I think using a lot of source material from the show, Ed can turn out to be one of the best characters in the game on a creative level. So number 6 would be Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Number 5, the manifestation of death. That's also from Jamaica. Number 5 will be Grim, the Grim Reaper from Billy and Mandy. I think Grim is a perfect character to represent his show, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, because his background in the show is hilarious. As one of the main characters, he loses a limbo contest over Mr. Snuggles, which is Billy's pet hamster. Now, Grim is forced to be Billy's and Mandy's best friend forever, and if he doesn't live up to his commitment, he will be stripped of all his powers and then he'll go to jail essentially. So Grim's role in MultiVersus, he can be fighting alongside Billy and Mandy or basically fighting on the behalf of them in order to fulfill his duties. And just like other Grim Reapers in pop culture, Grim also has his Reaper Scythe. But Grim's scythe isn't a normal scythe because most of his powers come from his scythe, and the scythe holds special magical powers that essentially turns the scythe into a magic wand as well. Grim also has other magical artifacts that he carry around, like the magical trunk, which is basically this trunk that has a bunch of different evil, sinister objects that he keeps. He tries to keep this trunk away from the kids because he doesn't want them to open it because, like I said, it's a lot of dangerous, evil, magic stuff inside that trunk. So just like how Finn can get on one knee and buy stuff from the item shop while in game, maybe Grim could go into his trunk and use different items in battle. I think Grim will work well as a mage/ranged character, but he can also be an assassin because of his scythe, but I think mage is more suitable for his abilities. So at number 5, it will be Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Number 4, this character holds a special place in my heart. When I was a child, I loved this video game franchise, especially when I had my Nintendo DS. I used to go to church playing this game all the time. The possibilities in this game were endless, and it was a cool concept. Number 4 will be Maxwell from the video game franchise Scribblenauts. Now, let's be clear, I don't know how the fuck the developers will try to implement Maxwell into the game because I think he is one of, if not the most complicated character I can possibly think of to try to be added into a fighting game. If you never played Scribblenauts before, essentially Maxwell can spawn anything that he wants. He can draw or name anything that he needs for any task that he's faced with. So let's say if he's hungry, he could just type, I don't know, toast, and toast will appear. I know that sounds crazy. He might be broken, but he has a lot of different abilities that I think will be cool as a mage character in this game. His moveset could consist of him running around with his notebook, and his notebook has the ability which he could create objects out of thin air and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think that'll be pretty funny. The dance could give him, you know, the simple punches, kicks, push, but I think his special moves should be object creation, where he can write on his notepad and quickly spawn anything that he needs. I honestly believe the possibilities are endless with Maxwell, to be honest. He can possibly be a really broken character, but I think the devs can have a lot of fun coming up with unique ways to express his abilities. So number 4 would be Maxwell from the video game franchise Scribblenauts. Number 3 is one of my favorite DC villains of all time. I love this character. I mained this character in Injustice 2. Every fighting game needs a grappler. Let's be serious, right? Every fighting game needs a grappler. It needs that big guy that could just grab you, throw you across the map, that tank that just uses pure force, that wrestler-like character, you know, your Zangiefs of the world, who uses pure force and intimidation to dominate the battlefield. Number 3 would have to be my boy Bane from the Batman series. It's Bane. I don't know what to say. He could use venom, superhuman strength. He has healing, endurance, reflexes. He got crazy memory. The guy is a beast. He's like an intelligent brute, an absolute force. Okay, I'm on his dick. I ain't gonna lie. I'm doing too much. But I think a cool mechanic that Bane can have is his memory aspect. Him having great, amazing memory. If a player tend to use a move more than twice, maybe that move could get weakened because he knows what to expect. I know it's a lot of gimmicks with a lot of characters that I want in the game, but this game is already filled with a lot of gimmicks anyway. Just like how Shaggy can go ultimate, he can use his Venom in order to become stronger and maybe faster as long as his Venom doesn't run out and he could recharge his Venom, giving him that extra gameplay factor. His hand-to-hand combat is amazing. He could hold his own against Batman, which is one of the most fearsome fighters in all of DC. His agility and his amazing hand-to-hand combat plus his strength, man, come on. It's no other kid, in my opinion, right? Bane is perfect for this game. We need some heavies. Bane could definitely be another tank character. So number 3, I would have to go with Bane. Number 2 is a brand new character, I guess, in the past couple of years. Kind of like Pibby, this character has a special place in my heart. Unique show, amazing character, crazy personality for a caveman. I probably already gave it away. I'm talking about Spear from the show Primal. The reason why I want to see Spear in this is because not only was his show a great success, him as a character, especially in a fighting game, I believe he can create a unique moveset. It will be an excellent bruiser. I mean, he's a caveman. That's what they do. They bruise. They inflict pain. You know, they use force. But what makes Spear so special is weapon proficiency. He can use any weapon. He can use a spear, club, bow and arrow. I remember one time he took like the dead carcass of bugs and used them as brass knuckles. It's like he can use his environment to its fullest. But I think it's his primitive nature. He knows how to use the environment to always get an upper hand. Obviously, he's a caveman, but he's very smart. His observation skills is crazy, and it seems like he can always handle a situation or attack a target need be. Spear doesn't talk, really. Obviously, he's a caveman. He just makes a lot of noise and grunts and stuff. But they can also add a lot of different gestures and sound effects in order to make his character more alive while in battle, because I believe he has a great personality if you watch the show, but you know, the lack of voice acting kind of limits him in a way because MultiVersus has a lot of crazy one-liners behind the characters. Well, that could limit Maxwell as too now that I'm thinking about it. But this is about Spear right now. Man, Spear would be a great character, man. I could see him fighting right now in this game. Please make it happen. So for number 2, I'm going with Spear from the show Primal. And number 1 is this kid, you know, he goes by, his middle name is Kirby. I don't know if you guys know this kid. He's from this town called Bellwood that's in kind of like the Southwest. He's a part of a team that consists of his cousin Gwen and his grandfather Max, also known as Maxwell. I don't know if you know this guy. Well, let me introduce you to him. Number 1, the character that I really want to see in MultiVersus. His name is Ben Tennyson, also known as Ben 10 from the cartoon series Ben 10. I'm not even gonna waste no time. You know who Ben 10 is. You know he has the power of the Omnitrix, which is a special watch that he can use to transform into different characters with different abilities. These different alien creatures that he could transform to is quite complicated in my opinion to put in a platform fighter, but I think it is possible. There's characters like Pokemon Trainer and Mega Man in Smash Bros that can completely change their form in a snap. And I think Ben 10 can do that as well. Obviously in his human form, he can punch and kick and have generic combos, but he should be able to change into maybe 3 or 4 different aliens, hopefully the ones from the original show, as he chooses. So let's say he has the ability to transform into 3 aliens. One of those aliens that I would love to see is Heat Blast. Heat Blast is an alien that body radiates high amounts of heat. He has pyrokinetic abilities, allowing him to use his fire in different ways. Normally, he uses this to create fireballs or heat blasts, but normally, you know, hence his name, he can also use that fire to morph into any shape that he wants to. The heat is strong enough to melt a lot of different metals and things like that. His flames are explosive, good hand-to-hand combat. He kind of reminds me of the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four franchise. The second alien I would love to see is Diamond Head. Diamond Head is this green crystal character that has the ability to manipulate his body in order to form into multiple shapes. It seems like a lot of characters on this list can morph their body into something. That's funny. But he can also use these strong crystals to morph his body into different type of weapons and sharp crystals that he can use to impale his opponents. That sounds kind of dark, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what type of playstyle he would be. Obviously, Heat Blast would be a mage. I guess Diamond Head would probably be a tank or maybe a bruiser. I don't know, because his crystals are kind of mage-like, but at the same time, he's pretty much like a brute. To be honest, he could be a tank as well. I don't know. He's all around, to be honest. But I think Diamond Head will be phenomenal as the second alien. And the last alien that I would love to see is Four Arms. Four Arms could be his more heavy grappler form, which allows Ben the ability to actually turn into a tank, a more defensive option, I should say. Four Arms could clap his hands together to create strong shockwaves and use his unique strength as an advantage. So I would love to see Four Arms, Heat Blast, and Diamond Head as the 3 aliens that Ben can choose from in battle. Now, there's a lot of different aliens that a lot of different people want to see, because it's a bunch of aliens in the franchise, but those are the 3 that I remember as some of my favorites from his Omnitrix. But that's it. That is the top 10 characters that I would love to see in MultiVersus. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you very, very much. This is kind of a longer video, I should say. But leave down in the comments below what would be some of the characters that you would love to see in MultiVersus. That being said, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me and watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.